close that up. Facebook says live. Let me look. Let's refresh the page. We are live on Facebook. Let's see, are we live on the YouTube space? Looks like we are live on both. So, welcome back to another week in the design studio, where today, I was going through my inventory because I read a lot of stuff that people post in general wreath groups, things that they're looking for, and a lot of people are like, well, show us what you have for like Resurrection Sunday, or like, you know, He is Risen, stuff like that, pertaining to Easter. So I was like, do I not really have anything in my shop that is reflective of that? And I was like, I came across one item and I was like, okay, I have one. And then I went to my Etsy shop and I was like, it's not even listed there. And I was like, oh, Lord. So guess what Kat's doing tomorrow? Inventorying everything in the shop, verifying that everything is listed on both sites. So the wreath that we're making today, because I do already have a rose, and I think it's, is it dahlias? I think it's rose and dahlias. Grapevine with lamb's ear and baby's breath and stuff, and it's all done in really a gorgeous spring palette. So I did that, and I was like, well, let's make a deca mesh one so that we have a little bit of different price points and for people who prefer one over the other. So that's what we're working on tonight. So if this is your first time joining, welcome. Let me know where you're from. Love to know how you found me. Some people are like, hey, it just popped up in my recommended things, and here I am. So let me know. Also, if you want to save a copy of this tutorial, you will want to, if you're on the YouTube side of things, let me just take care of all the YouTube stuff. YouTube, to save the tutorial, click the save button. To turn notifications on, subscribe to the channel, or click the subscription bell. On Facebook side, to save the tutorial, click the share button or the arrow. If you want to turn notifications on, you have to do two things. One, follow the page. Two, like the page. One of those is easy to find. The other is hidden under the little ellipses, the three little dots. Click on that and it'll allow you to customize your live tutorial notifications. Let's see. If you're interested in this design tonight, I think this is the only one I'll be able to make, because I think, I'm not 100% certain because I didn't double check materials beforehand, but this one definitely has items that are completely discontinued, can't find them anymore. So if you're interested in this, you can go to KatsCreationsNMore.com and you will just see a placeholder that says like Kats Creations Live with the little YouTube or the Facebook logo. That will allow you to purchase this wreath, because I haven't made it, so I haven't taken a photo of it yet. This is going to average about 25 inches in diameter and about 5.5 to 6 inches deep. What else? Website. So if you guys are interested in joining my private group, you can do so on the website as well at KatsCreationsNMore.com. It's the very first option you get to. Also, I don't know if it's redirecting you or not, because a lot of people sign up, but then that's where it goes. You need to make sure that you go over to the Made for More group. It says Kats Creations private group next to it, and request to join. You have to sign up, and then I get your email address, and then when you request to join, I'm matching email address to email address. So that's where you will do that. To find this, if you're interested in purchasing it, it'll be under new product collections, which is, I think, the second or third link down. What else? If you can, make sure you comment, like, share. If you can do those and you do nothing else, that helps me out beyond belief in a big, big way. And I think that's it. So I'm going to pivot you down. We're going to go ahead and get started. So everything's turned on. I have all my notifications. Oh, I didn't turn my chat on so I can see all of your comments. Let me make sure. I always look at the level of my camera and for some reason it tilts. I don't know why that is. Let me turn chat on so I can see all the comments from both groups. Hi Cheryl. Hello, hello. Hi Debbie. Hi Elizabeth. Hi Joanne. Hi Karen. Hi Nancy. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're doing lavender and white. It's lavender, white, and tan are the color palettes. Doing it on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I've done the 5. I think this is the last week I will wrap up going over how to wire, because then I'm just going to dedicate a short to how do you wire a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame for like 90% of the designs so that we can just move forward from this point. But all the 5 sections are done. The 6th section, we are going to wire together the inside 2 using the welds. Just try to find a halfway point. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do request that you make sure your pipe cleaners are even lengths because it just makes it easy when you go to put all your stuff in. Now on the outside, I am going to use this weld in that center section and find a halfway point to do the outside too. Just like this. And then back over here, we're going to do the same on the opposite side. They're about 3 inches apart from each other. Again, it doesn't have to be an exact science, but that will give you 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside for a grand total of 18. This is what our sign looks like. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's still available. So this is a 15 by 5. He is risen. And you might be asking yourself, where you're putting it on a 14-inch wreath frame, isn't that going to hang off on the side? If I was to put it on something just like this, yes, I'd have a slight overlap. But remember, we're coming in and putting in a 10-inch deco mesh on each side. So we're actually going to be working with a 25-inch diameter, which makes our sign ideal for this. So this is like what I was saying. I don't know if these are still available or not. So there's that. What else? We are doing... I'm going to bring all my deco mesh over here. So I have cut all my deco mesh because you people have interesting lives to do. So we are using wide foil. So this is a wide foil lavender mesh. I've cut it with a wood burning tool at 20 inches. We're going to do ruffles because we have that rectangle shaped sign. We're going to pair that with a bow in addition to some of the other fun ribbon tails, bows, half bows, all those things. And then we're going to come in with some embellishments for this. So we're keeping it in the shades of purple. Purple, as you know, was known for being the color of royalty. So we are doing the ruffle technique, which is, I just gathered that right up. I'll show you again 17 more times. I'm going to put that with the finished edge facing towards the inside. So right where I'm holding that is where I'm going to come back in. And I'm going to do twist, twist, twist. And I'm not going to use anything on my insides. So I'm going to be taking these off as I finish. So once I've twisted, I'm just going to push that back down towards the center. I'm not going to worry about fluffing that out. We're going to just take care of the 6 in the inside first. For some of you, you're going to think that I'm doing a pancake wreath. It is not. It is because a pancake wreath would only feature a grand total of 12. Total 6 on the outside, 6 on the inside. So we're definitely doing double on the outside. So as you can see, I'm just kind of pulling this towards me in about 1/2 inch increments. Again, just placing that right to the inside. And you can do whatever way you want. You can do the 6 inside and then come in and do the outside like we're going to do. Or you can do the technique that I call the next one, which means like if I put that in, then I'm going to start with the very next pipe cleaner that I have. And that is known as my term, the next one. So I don't know if it's a logistical true thing or not, trying to find my, whoops, there. Okay, this thing's being weird. Let me just go here. Okay. Hi, Nadia. Welcome. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Valerie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. So this one, I think this will be interesting because I don't think I've done a design like this where it is literally color on color on color. So we're staying in the purples. We're accenting it with a little bit of white and a little bit of tan, but primarily the entire thing is going to be purple. It goes well with the sign. It allows the sign to stand out by itself. Hi, Shantae. Hi, Linda. I'm just like toggling back and forth between the two groups. So again, 20-inch pieces. We're doing the ruffle technique. Some people know it as the bow tie or the scrunch. Whichever way works for you. Then you can address it as such, but I call it the ruffle. I don't know if that, I think that's its technical name. So I just have them all pre-cut, ready to go. And I'm just imagining a line right up the center. I ignore what my decomesh is doing, like going in and out. I just keep my focus on that same spot. That way I get pretty even amounts. And I know I'm doing it very detailed. There's some people who just would take it, scrunch it, shove it in there. I've done that in the past. It definitely has a different look to it. So I'm just making this one very measured in the look. So I want it to have that wavy pattern that's even all the way through. Nothing wrong with either or. Your preferred method of doing it is honestly whatever works for you. This is going to be the last of our 6 on the inside. I could have done this one for a, whatchamacallit, storm door. I think I'm going to give my, my website a revamp so that things are easier for people to find. Most people just go to the new product thing because they're looking for something I just made, so it's easy for them to find. But I want to be very specific, like if you're looking for something for storm door, if you're looking for bows, if you're looking for, obviously all the seasons, those will be under their little seasonal sections. Or you can just use the search bar and type in whatever you're looking for. So now I'm going to move to the bottom. Same technique. I'm just going to push that to the side and then drop that down inside. What the outside pieces now do is they cover those pieces that we just put in. So I like to give them a little flourish on the end, like just fold the ends under, because when decomesh is going to fray, it usually frays where it's cut. And so I just want to minimize that from happening. Push that back over there. I am looking for my other piece. I was trying to get the other piece ready. So I just come in and plop it. Plop it right on. What you guys been doing with yourselves? Feels like ages since I've talked to any of you. But it hasn't been. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and we might be changing that up because my Bible study group wants to do the Bible study, but they're like, we all go to our own private Bible study in the evening on Wednesday, and so Wednesdays just aren't working. So we might be making a slight adjustment. I don't know. We always go with what people want. So, and we're doing an incredible study in the book of Daniel. And if you never thought 3 men being thrown into a furnace has no relevance in your life today, you might just be surprised. Because it's not just a story. It helps us to be women of integrity, which I love. So my mind is like this. It's just mind blown right now. And of course I'm inhaling books like crazy. I'm trying to get my reading speed back up to where it used to be. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but before I became dedicated to wreath making, I was a book reviewer for how many years? I started in 2009 and I ended in 2017. I still do it, but not as much as I was. I mean, we're talking like I was doing like a book plus a day. I would inhale those things so quickly. Because I've been a voracious reader my whole life. It's what I grew up doing because we didn't have the internet back then. You know, what do you do when street lights come on? I would read. I would read a lot. It's the one thing my dad says he remembers most about me is I would read. Karen, length of this cut is 20-inch pieces. It only takes one roll of deco mesh, which leaves you with no leftovers. So that's kind of why I do this technique so much, because we're not wasting materials. And it's the one thing I wish I would have discovered early on, because, you know, a lot of times I would jump on whatever technique people were teaching and I'd be like, oh, so this takes like, you know, 2 rolls of deco mesh, you know, to do a ruffle, or, you know, depending on the length, and if we're only doing 1 color or 2 colors. So I understand the whole budget side. So if you're looking for something that is good for your budget, number 1, order your craft materials online. You get, the quality is so much better. And you can pretty much find everything that you're looking for, and you will never, honestly, be disappointed with anything that you order. My favorite place is craftoutlet.com. No, I don't make any affiliation money or referral money off of them. It's just my favorite place to order, because I can usually hit their free shipping minimum, which is $69. So I usually wait until I'm out of quite a few things, and then I'll just backlog, like I'll order 3 or 4 rolls of like this color deco mesh if I'm down to my last roll. And then looking ahead into the future of the year, I'm like, okay, do I have enough red, white, and blue for all the patriotic stuff? Memorial Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day. Do I have all that? Do I have all the colors for summer? Do I have all the colors for Christmas? Because if you wait for those holidays to order, they'll all be out of whatever you're looking for. That's my tip of the day for you. Don't wait. Don't wait to order for the season. So like right now, you should be ordering all your patriotic. This is February, so March, April, May. We're supposed to be making May-themed wreaths. But since Easter falls so early in the year, it is April 5th, I believe. I definitely want to make sure that I have a couple of these in there so that I have a little something for everybody. Okay. You are so welcome, Karen. Thank you for that question. Pastels always remind me of string. Right, Cheryl. Yeah, the stronger, brighter colors like the greens, the reds, the, you know, your primary colors for school, your greens, orange, purples, regular purple. That definitely feels very summer-like. So yes, pastels, definitely feeling very spring-like. Even though a lot of the spring flowers aren't pastel-like. I mean, they come in whatever color. Okay, I've got 3 more pieces to squeeze on in, and you can see how this design has grown And I'm just doing ups and downs on these so I can get my deco mesh in. I'm sad, you guys. I won't have Taco Tuesday again today. It's breaking my heart. Because I know that there's people that are counting on me to be there. But I don't like to go alone. Do you guys ever like to go alone places? I'm not an alone person. Like, I don't like going to the movies by myself. I don't like going out to dinner by myself. I rarely even hate shopping. I'd rather go with Steve or some of my friends. Although, if I go with Steve, I know I'll stick to my budget. If I go with my friends, I might exceed my budget. Audio keeps cutting in and out, and it's still doing it. It could be a Facebook thing. Because what did I notice? Something was going weird today. Oh, Facebook just a little while ago. Like when I was going to click on my Facebook page, it wasn't showing me live on my page. It was showing me stuff from like last week. So I'm hoping that it corrects itself. And I know that when stuff like that happens, it's a Facebook thing. Right? Cheryl's like, no, I feel like people are staring at me. That's what I feel like. Audio's fine on YouTube. See? So is it a Facebook thing? Can you guys all give me an audio check? If you can hear me and it sounds good on your end, could you give me a heart? And if it's doing the chop chop, you know, like kind of cutting in and kind of cutting out, can you give me a sad face? That'll throw my husband for a loop. He'd be like, why are all these people sad-faced? Be like, I don't know. I don't know, huh? Karen gave me a heart. Thank you. And that's a Facebook. Okay. So here we are. Look how beautiful that is. And so remember you guys were talking about the sign and thinking, that sign's not going to fit on that wreath. What did I do with my sign? Oh, it fell over. It's face down. Look. See how that's going to look? And we still got extras on the side. So, that's what we're doing. Okay, but before we get to the sign, we're going to introduce some ribbon tails and the ribbons selected that are going to go on those outside 12. So let me show you what we have. Eeks. Okay, so we are doing the lavender and white Swiss dot. This is 1.5" ribbon from Craft Outlet. These are cut to 30-inch pieces because I'm going to show you how to do a hand-tied bow. We're going to be pairing that with this gorgeous, it's like a sheer. It has like purple tulips on it and it's sheer. 2.5 inches, cut to 14 inches. This was from Joann's back in 2018. So I don't think it's there. So that's why I'm saying there's some products in here that I can't find again. And then we're doing this lavender print on a natural 1.5" cut to 19 inches. And then check this out. Oh my. All I can tell you is it's gorgeous ribbon. It's kind of got a little bit of a sheer to it, but it's embossed with like a little velvet. So it's got a little fleur-de-lis happening. So this is 2.5 inches. Again, cut to 14 inches. This is from Craft Outlet. This is from Craft Outlet. The Swiss dot is from Craft Outlet. And the tulip is from Joann. All 2.5-inch ribbons are cut to 14 inches here. And the only difference is the 1.5. So the Swiss dot is 30. And then the lavender print is cut at 19. So I am just placing this ultra sheer ribbon in. Looks so pretty. In a little V pattern. When I first put them in, it kind of does a little scoop. So I push my fingers underneath and make those pop out. And then here's how we're going to make the hand-tied bow. So 30-inch pieces. We are going to start, I'm going to do it here so you can see it much better. If I do it over here, sometimes you can't see it. So we'll start on the 10. So I'm just going to go 7 inches in, and I'm going to gather. And then I'm going to drag that back to my starting point. Then I'm going to grab another 7 inches, and I'm going to inchworm it to where I hand it off to my left hand, but I'm going to twist it. Okay, back to my 10 inches. I'm going to come over here to the 7 inches again. I'm going to gather. I'm going to inchworm it. Okay, I'm handing it off to my left hand, but I'm going to put a twist on it. So now we have the perfect little hand-tied bow. And if that's all you can remember, you can make a gorgeous bow with that. So we're going to twist a bunch of times. I'm going to cut the excess off. I'm going to take that little tail of a pipe cleaner and I'm going to go all the way around the back. Then I'm going to open my little loops. And then I'm going to go ahead and fan that back out. And that, my friends, is how you do a super cute hand-tied bow, along with that little gorgeous sheer ribbon. This is going to look pretty. Okay, now we're taking that embossed ribbon. Same thing. I've already dovetailed the ends. So I go right down the middle so that I know I've got equal lengths on both sides. This is going where all the white pipe cleaners are. So, laying that right on the inside. One twist. You can do that now or you can wait to the very end. This is only 19 inches, so we're doing a half bow. So, we're taking our dovetailed edges, we're bringing those together. We're going up about 2 inches from the top, and we're going to pinch in. Okay? Half bows only have one loop, so that's why it's just a half a bow. It doesn't have 2 loops. So again, twist, twist, twist. Come in and remove that. Now I'm going to take that little tail and go all the way around the back. I'm going to open this up. I have to right side this side, so I'm just going to spin that around. And that, my friends, is how you make a half bow. Because I always felt, for the longest time when I would watch people make wreaths, and they would do like the little X ribbons, sometimes they would do 2.5 with 1.5 inches. I was always like, well, what goes in the middle? And everyone's like, nothing. And I'm like, but it feels like it's missing something, like it needs something in the middle. So that's where half bows were invented. It was my way of solving what is in the middle, you know? And even if you have fancy work frame wreaths, you still need something in the middle. So here we go. Hand-tied bow again. We're starting on the 10. We're just going 7 inches in, and we're going to drag that all the way back to the 10. Right at 7 inches again, and we're going to inchworm it. And I'm going to hand off from my right to my left, and I'm going to twist it. Go all the way back to the start. Gather again, inchworm it. I'm going to pass it off, and then I'm going to twist it so that I have everything now in my hand to plop right on the inside. And then twist, twist, twist. I usually do quite a few twists because, and I think it happened when I would do it with my husband, and he would help me. Because he's left-handed, he would twist differently. So when I would come around to put my own things in, I would untwist them. And I was like, hey, that's not working. My things are coming undone. So that is probably where that came from. See, because now there's nothing. There's nothing in there. Okay. You like that color? Thanks, Valerie. She says, good on my end. Sound is good. I do too. I'm a sucker for lavender. Anything lavender. Like, I would even take royal purple. But I am partial to a softer shade. So pretty. So pretty. I think I did that one upside down. So I'm just going to flip it. Because I was like, I feel the fuzz on the bottom. There we go. Fuzz on the bottom. So it must be designed to work really, really well, because it does feel like it has a little bit of a plastic coating to it. Oh, but when I saw it, I was like, I have to have that. That looks so pretty. Over just like a standard plain purple ribbon. So cut that one off. Again, take this all the way around the back so that when we open that and flip our tail around, because of the way our loop is positioned, it's so funny because I was like, still feels weird. Okay. We can hide our pipe cleaner. It's always about hiding the mechanics of everything. Let's see. Want my way over here. Oh Lord. Let's get rid of that. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. She said the tulip ribbon is so beautiful and the sage green is very pretty with the lilac. It is. I was like tempted to add sage in here. But I was like, no, I'm going to keep this one mostly purple. Just accented very small with the whites. So hand tied again, starting at the 10. We gather at 7, move this all the way back to the 10, measure another 10, which is at the 17. I'm going to inchworm it, pass it off with a twist. Start right here at the 7, do the same thing, inchworm, twist, and then we're going to drop that right on the inside. And now we'll just zip through it. I just felt like on this one, why did I pick bows over half bows, or why did I pick the colors I did? I liked the sheer ribbon because I just felt like it felt like a softer touch. Like I definitely wanted a lot of purples, like the lavender, the soft pastels. And then I saw the tulips and I thought that was just like nice. It just gives you like a very subtle shade. I'm always like double checking the other side. And so I thought, oh, let's do pretty bows. You guys always like it when we do the hand-tied bows. And honestly, if you really like the shade of this wreath, all you have to do is remove the sign and go ahead and put on like a standard welcome. And that would look wonderful for the rest of the season if you didn't feel like, you know, having his risen all through the season. You could switch out the sign. I like making it easily changeable for clients that like the design and would love to incorporate that year round, so it gives them a dual look, which is always a benefit when it comes to saving money. Aww. Tracy said, when my mom passed away almost 5 years ago, I made a little bouquet and put it in her hands. I wish I had taken a picture of the flowers. They were in different shades of purple. Oh, how precious is that? I love that. And not only that, what a great memory to have. You know, if you could just keep that as like a floral bouquet for your mom. That would just be wonderful. I'm always trying to turn these ones because they always like to lean in. here's our hand tied again. Starting at the 10, go up 7 inches, gather, move it all the way back to the 10. Feel like this is football. And they're moving it back to the 10. And they go another 7 yards. And we're going to go for the inchworm pass with a twist. Back to the 10-yard line, and we're going for another 7 inches. We're going to inchworm again with that twist, and that's how we get our hand-tied bow. And like I said, if all you can do right now for bow making is hand-tied bows, you can stack one on top of another and make yourself a gorgeous bow. Just with the little bows, like you can make this, and then make them little hand-tied bows, put them together, and just fluff them all out, and you have a gorgeous bow. I wish somebody would have told me that when I first started, because bows are hard. But once you master it, you have it down pat. And I'm not a fan of the bows where people take 1.5 inch ribbon pieces, like, I don't know, 6 inches, and they kind of layer them like little little pieces, and then they scrunch them. I guess, I don't know. I just don't see that as a bow. I had it go with her in the casket along with a white bunny rabbit. Aw, so that it was close to Easter, and I wanted that to go with her as well. How sweet. I love that. I'm sure she appreciated that. What a great way to remember your mom. It's funny, I have a picture of my dad. He's on my wall that faces my kitchen. So every afternoon when I'm there making lunch, I just talk to him. I'm like, you having a good day, Dad? Is Jesus teaching you how to master that wood making technique? No more measure once. What is it? Measure twice, cut once. You get it perfect every single time. My dad loved woodworking, and just before he passed away, he had macular degeneration so bad, his eyesight was leaving. And so he kind of had to give that up. And I was telling him, I said, well, Dad, when you get to heaven, all that goes away. Your eyesight's fully restored, and you'll be able to make and do all the things you enjoyed doing. And it won't feel like work. And I think that just brought him a little bit of joy. So, and that's coming up too. February 19th. My dad passed away 2 years ago due to cancer. So there's that. And I used to talk to him every day. Every day. It started out with every Thursday. Every Thursday was our calls. And then it moved to like 3 times a week. And then we were talking every day. Then it'd be like 2 or 3 times a day. I just enjoyed talking to him. He always had lots of questions. Aw, thank you, Charlotte. She said, looking so pretty. I know, right? Because I kind of feel like it's like a woman's wreath. I just feel like I didn't feel like adding, I guess we could have added lilies to this. But I think the only lilies I have are really dark. They're like a really deep purple. So I don't think lilies would have looked really good. But we are going to add lavender. I know my mind, she appreciated that. But I know she's still with me. Absolutely. That's why the one thing that we can never leave behind is the love we have for one another. We get to take that with us when we go. And I think that's the hardest thing for people to When they, like with my dad, he knew, you know, he was going to be passing away. There wasn't much that he could do. He was going out on his terms. He wasn't into the whole radiation treatment. He was ready to go home. He was 82. He's like, I don't want to go to radiation and chemo and all those things. Where was I going with that train of thought? Where was I going with that train of thought? Lord, I need some help. Bring it back to the station. It'll come back to me in a second. I'll watch the video if it doesn't remember and I'll be like, ah, that's what I was going to say. I know it's something to do with your mom. And struggling with the, you know, losing. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Lord. Dealing with loss. Why it's so hard sometimes for people who know that they're going to die. I think it's so hard for them because they don't want to leave their loved ones behind. Even though deep down inside their heart, they're like, I'm ready to go. I'm done. But then here we are. No, don't leave. I didn't want my dad to leave. But I knew he was in a much, much better place. And I knew he was happy. I knew he was going to be happy. And I think knowing that, I still miss him. But just knowing, I know I'm going to see him again. And then I'll never have to say goodbye. Ever, ever, ever again. Okay, this is our last one. Hi, Jean. She said, good evening, everyone. We are making a He is Risen wreath. For some of my clients, that's what they're looking for Easter. They're like, we're not into the bunny. I don't really feel like doing the lamb. I did have one that said, I think it's a silly rabbit. Easter's about Jesus. Or Easter's for Jesus or something like that. And I was like, I don't want to go cutesy. I kind of want to go with something nice. Like understated like this. Look how gorgeous that is. Such a nice, that would make a gorgeous centerpiece if you just had a gorgeous, like, really nice hurricane lamp with purple candles. It would look awesome. Okay, I am going to put the sign in. Putting the sign in. Gotta take the label off the back. This was a really old sign. How can I tell? Because, number one, the label's going to be really hard to get off. Number two, I did this with adhesive cable ties, which I don't do anymore. But here's the thing. I was like trying to pull them off. They won't come off. So, there is that. So, okay, I'm just trying to get that under. That's how I can tell how old it is. The fact that it didn't come off in one little swoop like that. That lets you know. We're going to put a business card there. Where's my business cards? Where did I put them? Oh, here it is. I was like, we'll just put a business card right there instead of right in the center. So I'm going to place this right there in the bottom corner. I'm going to remove the twine rather than try to work and get those staples out. There's that. So now we're going to go right and left It is a fairly large sign, so it is going to, I'm going to do it right in between. I think I'm going to do it with my half bows. So I'm going to pull back. Let's see. I'm just going to pull these back. Normally I go right where my center you know, like when we put our center ones in. I'm going to pull this all the way over. Okay. One twist, because I'm sure I'm going to have to readjust. So I need to make sure I'm hitting a rail on both sides. And then I'm going to just reconfigure that a bit. That's why I ended up putting it there. It's because I knew it was going to end up coming around. And then I could move these out of the way. And same thing here. Just move that. Kind of make it nice and a little fluffy there. Now that I'm thinking about this, like, where are we going to put the bow? Where are we putting the bow? Well, let's see. Where will we put the bow? Because normally I put it on the top. We're going to try for a top bow today. We're going to try that. So I can kind of pull some of my deco mesh down here at the bottom up. Just for a little fluff. So we're going to try up here. We're going to try. It's been a long time since I did an upper bow. Okay. Set that there. We are going to pull out all the ribbon I just used, along with a couple extras. So here's that embossed. I got it on a 50-yard spool. Here's the Joann's Tulip from 2018. Then we have the Swiss dot with the lavender and white, all from Craft Outlet except for this one, and our lavender. And I think the way I have it going, in addition to that, is I'm going to do the dotted line purple with the pearls. And I think the way I did it was like this. I think that's the way I did it for how it's going to go. Because I like this being down so that that sheer goes right on top. So, this is from PLY Wreath Signs. She still has some ribbon, I think, but she was kind of going out of that. And then the pearl is from Craft Outlet. So, but I don't think it's in there anymore. I don't think they have it. So I'm going to be doing it on the Bow Dabra. So the first thing I'm going to do is dovetail my end. So wired edges together. We're going to cut from that folded side down to the wired point. And I like my V's pretty deep. So where you start on that fold determines how deep that V is going to be for you. And I like it pretty pronounced. Other people don't. So no right or wrong there. But I am going to measure out 10 inches for my tail. And then I'm going to gather and twist. So this is right side, even though it's hard to tell, to the wrong side. I'll flip this over here. Or I'm going to go up and around, and I'm looking for 5.5 inches for my loop length, meaning bring this back to the 10 inch, just because it's easy math, and then stretch this out, and you want to see it end at 5.5 inches. So right about there. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Always just eyeball it. Then I just measure and then pull to make your adjustments. But then from here, you want to make sure you're at your solid 10. And then dovetail again. Just, ooh, that was a slop. That was slop. That was Ribbon slid at the last minute. Oh. And that's on camera too for the whole world to see. Okay. So this one's all done. Well, I'm actually going to put this right behind me. Put it away. It's one less thing you have to put away later. Okay. Now, we are going to take our shear. This one's going to be hard because it's going to want to move. So, when I'm doing that, I hold it up here and then I'll cut so that it doesn't slip. And this one we're doing 9.5 inches. So we're going to put that inside with a twist. And then we're going to do 5-inch loops. So we're coming down a 1/2 inch. Let's make sure we're right at the 5. Do it here, up and over. Okay, let me just verify. A little longer. Okay, then here we want 9.5 inches. And do that dovetail. So I find just hold the top and then whoop, hold the top, and then it won't slip. Okay, this one, barely have anything on that one anymore. Okay, now what did I say? I think we're doing this one. This, this, this. Because I originally wanted it to be this, and that. But I think I'm going to leave it the same way. Okay. So, this is a ribbon that I don't think that is out anymore. I think they've discontinued it. It's my favorite. Another favorite. I have lots of favorites, let's be honest. So this one's going to be 9 inches. Gather in, twist. And this time we're going 4.5 inches for our loop length. So starting on the 10, stretch it out. Are we in line? That one, yes. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, I'm going to bring that in. And then we're back out for 9. And that one's all done. Having a hard time believing that today was already Tuesday. I hope it goes quick because I miss my husband. He's working out of town. It's just not the same. So this is the one I told you is from PL Resigns. This one is going to be 8.5 inches. With a twist. And we're going to go the same length as the bottom, the dots. So I'm just going to hold and pull. And then do the same on the other side because we've already measured it. And then we've got to do our little tail at 8.5. Wow. Another sloppy cut. I don't think these are my good scissors. They are not responding like my good scissors, which would be like scary sharp. And I am missing a pair. Okay, that one's done. And now we're going to do our lavender. So this one's going to be 8 inches. Do you guys have any questions at all? That's true, Cheryl. Pastels work really well for baby showers. Hello, spring baby, right? How do you cover your wreaths in the back? Eileen asked. I don't. I leave them open. Especially on a design like this, because they can, as an option, change out their sign if they want to. If I covered the back, they wouldn't be able to do that. So the only wreaths I cover the back on is my felt wreaths. I will. And there's a couple I do. But like all my deco mesh designs, I don't. It gives them multiple hanging options that way. So that if I, for example, want to hang it on the outside wire hanger and they don't like it, they can go higher, they can go lower, and then again, they can remove the sign and put something else in it. Like just a typical like welcome or welcome home or home sweet home. I think I have a home sweet home one too. Show you what you could do just as options. So I just leave it naked and exposed. Juanita says you don't use the Dollar Tree scissors anymore. You know what's so funny? I have some and I don't. Once I started with these, I was like, oh, because I could cut all of my ribbon. Like when I'm doing my ribbon tails, I can cut all 6 at the same time because they're so sharp. That's why. But I still use my Dollar Tree scissors. Okay, this last one's going to be 7.5. By the way, this was 8 inches with a 4-inch loop. This last one is 7.5 inches for the tail length and 3.5 inches for the loop. And if you're like, oh, I didn't write all that down. If you go to my website, halfway down the page, it'll say, want my bow recipe? You can click on that link and you can download the bow recipe for free. And there's a link for a tutorial showing you exactly how to put, it's not this bow, but a bow using those dimensions together in a much more slow fashion. So I think it says like, click here for Kat's bow recipe. Because like any recipe, we can change it. We can mix it up. We can add different things. Okay, don't want that to roll to the floor. Alrighty, we are going to finish this off with a purple pipe cleaner. Just like this. And we're going to pick up the whole stack. I'm going to switch positions of my hands and drop that right down in the center. And then I'm going to just twist at the bottom and then rotate the entire stack. Just like that. And we're doing a top bow. A top bow. Man, I'm being challenged today. It's been a long time since I've done a top bow. It's because the sign's so big. Okay, this is my fluff board, which is nothing more than a 24-inch by 24 by 1-inch thick piece of lumber. Just to prove to you it is. And I just covered it with 6-inch peel and stick floor tile. That makes it look like wood. Because it's a nice prop board too. So I'm going to take my C-hook, which is about 2 inches. I just screw it into the bottom of my board, or in the middle. And then I'm going to loop my pipe cleaner on, just like that. And since this is a top bow, can't have our ribbon sticking out. So we're going to have to do it like we're fluffing the normals. So that just means we're going to start at the bottom. This is my top stack, bottom stack. We're going to start from the bottom. We're going to separate tails from loops, just like that. go over here and I'm going to find the tail, and I'm going to make sure it goes directly opposite, and the loops, oops, directly opposite of each other. Okay, then I'm going to grab the next one, and this time my tail's going to go to the left and the loop is going to go to the right. Find it on the other side and make that match up, so that what it's done is it's alternating my tails from my loop colors all the way around. Okay, now here I'm going to follow that embossed purple. So here's my tail, there's my loop, go back over, there is my tail, or loop, and here's my tail, directly opposite. And then here we're going with the tulips, so just like that. And over here I'm going to switch it up, it's going right over here and right over here, just like so. Sometimes the tails just like to get a little squirrely. Here we are now following our embossed. I'm going to actually mix it up because I don't want that same pattern on top. So I'm going to follow along with what we just did here. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm just going to make those match. And then from here, I'm going to follow our purple dot, or our dot ribbon, like so. Okay, see, I've got them all here, all here, all there. They're all there, okay? They're all completely flat. We're going to start by lifting the top two. There we go. Top two. And then here, top two. That feels awfully big. So let's see. I'm going to pull that in just a little bit. Sometimes they get a little squirrely. Okay. Then over here, I'm like, do I want the dots to come in between, or do I want the purple? I kind of like the stripes, the dotted line. So I'm going to let this come to the outside. Just to the outside edge. And you can mix it up. You don't have to follow along. But I usually just look and see, which one do I want to put in between? Just like that. Ignore the tails. I know it's tempting to want to fix them. So now here, you're just going to open the bottom two and really give them some volume between those. And I'm working right here. I've got that the C-hook in the way. So it's preventing me from fully opening things like it would on this side. So here, fully open, move things around the way you want. And then now we're going to deal with the tails. We're just going to lift them up and slide them through our fingers to kind of put a nice little curl or an arch in them. Sometimes it's just easier to do them pulling them all down. Like here. So I'm hoping that that's the way it's gonna, like our sign's gonna go right in here. And then our tails are gonna fan to the outside edge. So that is the bow. We will attempt to put that on. So here is our wreath. We are looking to put our bow, and I'm going to take all this mesh because right now my bow would be tempted to sit way up here. I don't want it to sit way up there. So I'm going to take this stuff and I am just going to tuck right underneath here for now because I need it to lay flat. I'm going to pull my bow, these loops forward so that I have a nice landing spot here. I'm going to grab my pipe cleaner and I'm going to decide where I want this to go. So I think I'm going to lean it back a little bit. Let's see. Now I got to get it through all those layers of deco mesh. Okay. I've got one. Remember, we took a whole bunch of that and flattened it. Okay. So now I'm going to hold this right here so it doesn't go too far down because we just fluffed that bow. And now I'm just going to redirect things. So I'm going to take all my tails. This is what I'm saying. If I don't move that deco mesh, it's going to stick up. And I want to kind of pull my side ones so that I can bring some of my other ones down a little bit further. Same thing here. Want to be able to bring that down a bit. Same thing here. Gonna bring that through. Give it some love. Looking at that. And it always looks funny when we're looking at it from an above perched position because we see straight up in there. But when it's on the door, we don't see that. So give yourself some grace. Focus on working on the rest of your design down here. Let all the other stuff kind of feather around. I'm just making sure my loops are they're elevated so they're not flat. Especially this sheer because it has no strength whatsoever. Okay, let's add some embellishments to this design. This is what it looks like. I'm going to lift it so you'll see it the way it is intended to be, just like that. So we are going to add some sprigs of lavender, my favorite lavender, by the way, which is from Sims Pottery. It comes in a pick much like this, and you can just pull the little ends off. Sometimes that one's not going to come off, but I like these little sprigs. You get quite a bit in here. See, like that one just came off like that. I'll just do this so they come off much easier. So I'm going to go all the way down on this one. Just that one entire pick. Okay, so look, just that one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. And I do have my glue gun on, and I do want to bring in some of the lavender right under that lavender bow. So I want one off to one side and the other off to the other, just like that. So I'm going to layer that on and tuck that right underneath my little loop. Same thing here. Right underneath the loop so that we have that nice little lavender presentation. And I'm going to do that for wherever we have our lavender ribbon. So it's just going to be like right there and right there. So we're going to add that lavender, even though that's not what's in the design, but because I did use the lavender ribbon, that's why we are using the little touches of lavender, because all the other florals I have are a little too bright for that to work. Okay, going around, and we will add some to our sign possibly. So you can see the way that it curves. So I am making sure that it is curving whichever way it goes. It's kind of following in line with what I have for that design. So this one's kind of more straight than anything, but some of them have a pretty good curve to them. Just a nice little touch of lavender there. You could come in and do so many other things. You could add lamb's ear to this. You could add Dusty Miller, which is another soft little fuzzy greenery to this design. Just kind of following that. Trying to make sure I do both sides, because this way it'll stick to the deco mesh on the bottom and a little bit to the underside of our ribbon loop. Okay. Back around the back. And I'm just refluffing my ribbon. So you get quite a bit for this pick. Just little soft touches of lavender. We must have had 12, and I must have counted wrong, because I did 2 on every single one. And so now I'm like, hey, we're back over here again. And I have a full 2. So let's see what else we want to do. I know I want to add some to the center of our bow. So here's all my excess glue. So I'm just going to pull that off and throw that back in my glue skillet. So nothing's truly wasted. Let's go ahead and break this one down. So we'll definitely put some in our bow. We'll add some to our sign. So these ones will kind of just pop through our bow. And I'm just doing these on the bottom, because I'm going to feed these right underneath. Just like that. Right underneath. Trying to make sure I keep all of our glue out of the way. We'll do 3. 3's good, because 3's a nice odd number. Okay, and let's look at adding some to our sign. Okay, so let me look. Let's pull these off. 1, 2, 3, there's 7. How did you not? These, if you wanted to keep them, you could use them. Stir your glue, whatever else you'd like. It's like, I don't want to add those. I kind of feel like I want to do something like, let me show you. I've got a, sometimes you have to just, like, I wanted to do something like this, around that, like a little, like that, around our sign, so that it doesn't impede anything, but I kind of like that little look. And then if we wanted to, we can have like one up here, and just one right there. I definitely like the 2 on the sign, so I'm going to do that. That is going to go right across the top. Same thing here. Just like that. And we'll put the two. There's that one. And then following the angle of our pick. Oh, thanks, Joy. She said this is very pretty. Thank you. And then we're just going to direct that to kind of go down right in here. And we're going to do this one. See, can we get that one to go? Yeah, we're going to just follow the exact same placement. So I just kind of moved my deco mesh over so that I can kind of get this one to fall in line with where that other one is going. Okay, let me show you what it looks like on the door. Let me make sure I think I've gotten all of our glue threads out. Probably not. I'm going to lift you up. Oop. A little bit. Take this one down. Okay. So here we go. Where is this? I thought it would look really good on a black door. So I just, oops, removed. Let me do this. I'm going to pull all my glue threads off. We want to make sure all of our pieces of everything. Black shows everything. So we want to make sure we take advantage of that and that we can see things we don't normally see outside of the eyes. Same thing here. Make sure I've got everything going. There's another glue thread. Okay. Take time, fluff. This is what I do. Like, I'm just doing this stuff so that, like, when I get off, I'll do all my photos. I will shoot my video, short little video for TikTok or YouTube. But you want to make sure that I'm trying to get it to sit centered on my door. There we go. And let's move that up so that we can see everything. Oops. Okay. I keep readjusting, keep moving my sign. Okay. What do you guys think? That looks really good. Wow. It looks great on a black door. So light wreaths, dark doors look great. It looked great on a white door too. But this is the first time I think I've really taken and just kept the same color palette all the way through. So purple deco mesh, purple ribbon, purple bow, purple embellishments, and I'm keeping them all in the same palette. It's almost a monochromatic, meaning we're keeping a shade and then going up or down, lights or darks. But we did pop it a little bit with the lavender so that we could introduce the lavender embellishments. That's all I have for you guys for today. Like I said, if you're interested in making a purchase and you want to buy this, it is available on my website. It doesn't have the picture yet. It will here in a second. But other than that, what other questions do you guys have that I can answer for you? Joanne, that sign was from Craft Outlet. I don't think that they carry it anymore. I've had it for a very long time. But you could make your own sign. Matter of fact, one of my members that's in my private group, Cheryl, makes her own designs, or her own signs. So you could give her a look at, what is it? CJL Home Decor and More, I think is what it is. Okay, very good. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I will have another tutorial for you this week. So I hope you guys will join me on Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 6 Central, 7 Eastern, YouTube or Facebook, whichever you prefer. Other than that, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you